Hi, this is Primitive Mommy, and I'm going to show you how we are making our fodder system for our chickens. So what we have, this piece of wood is a 1x8x8, and the piece of wood was $10.68 plus tax. And I have two of these 3-tiered 8.5 by 11 inch or 3-drawer little containers that I got at Walmart. And those were $10 each. And then we have some screws. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. Alright, so he's gonna cut the little tabs off here. Let me show the tabs. With a knife or a razor blade you can use. So we don't need those. Real simple. We gotta take them off all 6 drawers. Because we're only going to use the drawers, we're not using the outer black casing to these little things. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to measure the 3-foot side. We're going to have 2 side pieces that are 3 foot long, and then the top and bottom are each going to be 12 inches. And then he's going to cut this after he measures it out. Okay, so he's cutting the 3-foot pieces with his sliding compound miter saw. So he's got... Alright, so those 2 pieces are going to be our sides, and he's going to go ahead and cut our top and bottom. Okay, so because of the blade, it's not exactly a foot on each side. Alright, so now we cut the top and the bottom pieces, and they're 10 5/8, right?
Yep. So. 10 5/8. Okay, so what we did is we went ahead and made a template here, measured out exactly where we needed to put the lines on our actual pieces of siding for the tower. We measured our drawers, and they're about 2 5/8 inch thick. So we gave ourselves a little bit of wiggle room. We went 2 3/4 inch. We made a line on here. So that's where the first drawer is going to go. So my router bit's about 1/2 inch, so we're going to come in from here, 1/2 inch. So this area here will be routed out. That'll be for this little lip on the drawer, right there. On both ends, that'll slide in and out. So from the upper line, we decided we're going to go 5 1/4 inches. So to our first line. So we'll go ahead and mark this out right there. So I put it on the 4, we're going up 5 1/4 inches, so we have to go up to 9 1/4. So there, and we got to remember that we're going to have a slant on the drawers so that the water can flow. We decided we're going to go 1/2 inch over the distance of the board. So this side is going to be higher or lower depending on which way we want to go with it. So the way we're going to figure this out, using a square, come over to here. Just put a mark, and then we'll go 1/2 inch this way or 1/2 inch this way. Okay, so now I was just going to show you guys how to put the mark. We're at 5 1/4 from the top of our last drawer. Depending on which way you're going to slant your drawer will determine if you go to the top or to the bottom of your initial line or the top of it.
And we're alternating slants each time. It's going to be different.
Exactly. So this one is 5 1/4 here. So when you come over to this side, we're going to want to put a 1/2 inch on top of it. So we'll go up to 5 3/4 up here. So when you take your straight edge,
and then you start from...
You're going to go like this.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's the slant that we're going to have.
Right.
So, and it's going to differ if you're using different slants or if you're using a different thickness of board. So we're going a 1/2 inch over the 8 inches of board, which is really a 7 1/4 inch on the actual board. So, and then you'll put your routing line, if you're using a router like I am. My bit's about 1/2 inch, so it's going to be somewhere around there. So, but we're going to go and do that on each one. So now, since we're staggering it, so it's 5 1/4 inches right there, as you can see. Then up here, we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to do it on this side.
Tape.
9 1/4.
Right.
So
we draw another line. Alright, so then we have another angle. So what that's going to do is each tray is going to drain into the next tray.
oh, wait a second, I didn't put my angle, so I need to put my angle right here, 1/2 inch. Alright, so now our 5 1/4 is from right there to right there.
Okay.
We can verify that, 5 1/4.
Yep.
Now we're going to come back over here, and we're going to be using this higher line, like we said. So we'll go right there, and go up to 10 1/4, right there. And we just alter that back and forth.
Okay.
All right, so we're finished marking out our first side of the board. It came out how the numbers worked out. It was a little bit smaller here because our first one that we made a template out of or whatever, since it was narrower, our measurements ended up being off a little bit. So we're off about 1/2 inch or 5/8 inch, but it's fine. We'll start the seeds up on the top level up there. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and measure 1/2 inch on each of these, and that's gonna be where the lip right here on the drawer, that lip is gonna ride inside of that groove. So that we'll use this to make sure that we route out the right area. So we'll come to each side. I think I already marked this one out. Yeah, that one's already marked out. So here. And how it's going to work out is your lines are going to cross now. So this used to be the straight line. Now you're going to just take that.
Why don't you draw those
Come
two
down
and
over to
then
here.
we'll squiggle them in so they can see.
So there you go. So you can go something like this.
And that will be routed out and gone.
So and then back over here.
So what you end up with is 5 1/4 spacing, right? Between
At your narrowest spot, yeah.
Yep. So I didn't get put your fingers there again because I don't think I got your fingers.
The narrowest spot between right here
Yep.
and
Right
up here.
Yep. So, and if you can't picture this while you're measuring that, I'm going to show you. This will be the bottom drawer, and the bottom drawer will be straight because it's our water catch. So, and then, because you need drainage on fodder. And then your next one will be like that. And the drawers are alternating. So you'll pull this one out here, and I'm ready to take it out. So, and it alternates the other direction for the next row. So, okay, you can do it in your way.
No, I'm just trying to.
So we'll finish that.
Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and mark out the lines where we're going to place our guide. In order to get this perfect angle each time, we need to have some kind of guide. So what you'll do is you'll take your router and measure, and every router is going to be slightly different, I believe. So from the edge of your bit, so depending on how thick your bit is, we're using a 1/2 inch. That's pretty much perfect for the drawers that we have. It's a 1/2 inch, but you're going to measure from the outside of the bit to the outside of your router base. So in our case, it's 2 5/8 inch from right here to right there. So then what we do is, you see I've already done a couple here, but if you're starting, this is what we're going to route out right here. This groove right there. we're going to measure 2 5/8 inches up, and that's where we'll go ahead and put our guide. So you'll line your guide up onto that line, and then you'll clamp it down. That way, when you start routing it out, it's going to follow this perfectly.
Here.
So I measured 2 5/8 inch from here to there, and on this side 2 5/8 inch from there.
And then
to
show, well, we'll show with the router what you actually do.
So, and that's it. So we'll get it clamped down. All right, so we have the guide in place now, which it should follow. You want to make sure you look and just eye it, make sure that it's exactly the same so you don't have it angled where you screwed up. Then you'll want to take your router and you can put it down here and just look to make sure it's going to line up right with the groove that you're planning on cutting. So, and go ahead and turn it on. There you go. Perfectly angled cut.
Now we gotta just do the rest.
Alright, so we got our first side all routed out. As you can see, all the different routings in there. And then we just finished marking out our second side. And how we did that is we just put them side by side, put the mark there, or you could put them like this. Put your marks there and then flip it over and do the other side, just to make sure everything's exactly the same. And it's a lot quicker than measuring everything. So now we'll go ahead and put our marks for our guide, which we decided was 2 5/8 inch in our case. So we'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll flip the board like this. Line that up. So for this one, you can see we have a mark there and a mark there. We'll use a straight edge to put that, and that's where we'll put our guide. We'll clamp that down so we can make our route when we route it perfectly straight. So that's it. Alright, so we got everything all routed out now. Now we're going to take a sander and just knock off all these edges, the rough spots everywhere. And we're using a random orbital sander. And we're just going to knock it all down and not trying to take too much off there. Okay, so we got everything sanded. Now we went ahead and marked out our line. This is going to be where we drill the holes. These two small pieces, one's going to be the top, one's going to be the bottom, and we're going to secure it to the sides of the fodder system. So it's 7 1/4. So each one of these is 1 7/16. So we're going to have 4 holes right here. And then we measured in. That'll be 3 3/8 because the width of the wood is 3/4. So when it sits on there, it'll be exactly in the middle of the side when we drill through there. So we're going to go ahead and drill a couple holes. First we're going to use a bigger drill bit. This is just going to be so that it fits easily into there. It doesn't need to be tight or anything. And then we'll drill a smaller pilot hole for the let's move it over here. So we'll go ahead and drill all 4 holes. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and countersink it so that our screws, once they're in, they're going to sit nice and flat and flush with the wood. That's a special countersink bit there. Just like that. You can also use a really large drill bit if you don't have a countersink.
And these are already done. Coming together. And there it is, almost done. Just need some stain.
What?
Okay, so here's the fodder system. He's got it all done. My amazing husband built this for me. Told him what I wanted, and he said get me the trays and I'll build it. So that's what I did. So he went ahead and drilled these holes here for the water drainage, and so they're all the way at the end. So I will water from here. They'll drain in from here down into the next level and all the way down, and I'll show you that. I'm gonna go ahead and get it stained, and I'll show you in a week or so when we got it all growing. All right, so here it is, the finished fodder system. We finished sanding it down. We filled the nail holes or screw holes with wood filler, and then I stained it, just a plain stain. And I went ahead and watered it so you could see how it works. So we see the water is moving from each level onto the next level. We have this one going. You can see how. So I have this is all barley, and each tray has a cup of barley seed, and they're at different levels of maturity. So there's what the grass looks like. And we're gonna go ahead and we'll take a tray out to the chickens. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and give the chickens some fodder here. Hi, girls. Look what we got. Bend down there, honey, so you can get it in there. So as you can see, it has a nice, here, let me show real quick, nice thick root mat there, and they eat this entire thing. Oh, she gets to wear stuff. Some seeds that don't sprout. That's okay though, they'll eat all of that. And they really like it. So this is just barley fodder. You can see their organic feed over there from my other video. They love this. You like it? We love our girls. Should we go see if they left us any eggs in there? Yeah. Okay, let's go see. Oh, we got 2 eggs. Thank you, ladies. I'll let you close that. So that's it. That's how to make a fodder system.